actually people who have the capacity of joy and elation and ease. And then we do things and we remind ourselves and we allow evidence to contradict who we are. The shift happened for me when it's still happening. It happened when that disruption within myself, when I started to question, it has to be somewhere within who I am for me to even think about this.
Thanks for choosing the Finally Be podcast, your reminder to give yourself permission to embrace the divine disruptions. Open up your intuitive knowing and choose the life you really want. I'm Marcy Grayson, and I'll be on this journey with you, sharing ways to elevate your awareness by living from your wholeness. This is your moment to choose your true you and finally be.
I'm just popping on here real quick because I'm in this training, right? And I'm doing all the things to show up for myself. And the one thing that I do know is that I've been having a lot of beautiful reminders of the life that I'm living. My friend and I were talking the other day, right? And what we were talking about was where she was and how she is showing up in her life and how the universe, how God, how all the things are coming together for her. It's like synchronicities. Everything's just falling in place. And she says to me that it's always like that. She lives in a life that allows her to be her all the time. And she's full of love. She's full of joy. She's in this place where she's like moving and grooving and she's opening herself up to spirit showing her more and more of her gifts so that she can share with other people to be able to know their wholeness as well. You know, she was experiencing life in this way where everything makes her feel good being her. It's a reminder for her. And we were just talking about that. We were like, oh my goodness, this is just a beautiful thing to have every moment to help you to remember who you are. You know, every moment to remind you to enjoy this part of it, this journey, you know. And I'm in this training and the question came up, what was your turning point? Right? What was the turning point for you to know that there is more, but you can have the more? You can start that journey right now, that this is not the only reality, but just a reality, and things can shift. What was that moment for you to know that you're whole, that you can enjoy your life, that you can feel good? You know, you can actually feel good. You don't have to just be okay. That things can shift and change for you. And I was thinking about this, and for a long time in my life, I was in that place where, you know, if you know me, you know that I've been through this idea of myself not having a voice. You know, I was that person that would make sure I didn't do much because I was always in that place where I didn't think I had much to give, you know, even though on the inside of me it was like, I know it's something more, and I know I have something to say, and I will always get these beautiful messages from God to speak to someone, to encourage someone else, and I would be living my life in this place of wanting to share and give, right? And then when I thought about myself, it would be like, you know, I didn't have the ability within myself, the capacity to receive anything that I was giving out. And for me, that created a place where I would blame myself. I had to like always be in this place of feeling lower than what I was. I would actually, when I did feel good, I would talk myself out of that. For years, I would be in this place of depression, a low mood. I would be crying all the time. People didn't know this because, I had that smile. You know what I'm saying? I had that smile. And, I would be in this place where I didn't say kind things to myself. And sometimes people would pick up on that vibe, like, what's wrong with you? You know, shouldn't you be happy? Shouldn't you be smiling? You getting the things that you want in your life. You did everything. You marked all the X's, did all the check marks, went to school, got your degree, did these things, I'm licensed therapist, I got a husband and, I'm doing the things. And yet I was still living a life of autopilot. I was in that place where I would wake up and feel like there is something missing. There was something that I knew that I wasn't acting on. I was being inspired and did not move with the inspiration. And I would be down. I would be down. I would deny myself a lot of things. I wouldn't go out because I felt like, that would take too much energy or would take too much of myself, or somebody would expect something from me that I didn't think I had the capacity to give. And it got like that. It was like that a lot. I would be in this place where I was just constantly telling telling myself no, denying myself, making that choice. Yes, it was a choice to not be me. And it was depression, at a point, I was down to the point where, I felt I shouldn't be here. I didn't have a reason to be here. So, thinking thoughts of hurting myself or killing myself. And then it moved into the things I really wanted. I didn't trust myself that I could have. And if you're like me, and I wonder if anybody out there was like me, where, you want these things and you do not allow yourself to want what you really want because you don't believe you'll ever get them. So that continued, to the point where I've had multiple miscarriages, in all of that, thinking that, okay, I really want this and I can't have this. My body is telling me I can't have it. Doctors are telling me I can't have it. I had church friends telling me, well, maybe that's just not what's for you. You know what I'm saying? And it was a constant thing where something was always giving me evidence towards what I can't have or what I shouldn't have, or everything that was in me wasn't the more, it was that this wasn't for you. And I used to really resent that about myself. Like, how could you have a desire for all these things knowing that you'll never have them? So for the longest time, that was, look at that lipstick. That was a situation that continued to get bigger and bigger and bigger. I was in this bubble. I was creating this life. This evidence kept showing up, and I kept looking at the evidence that I will never have those things, And not only that, it got even deeper. I didn't think I was worth those things. I didn't think I was enough. And then when something good did come, something I did want, I couldn't hold on to it, you know? And so that question of what was the turning point, what was the shift for me? The shift for me happened when Spirit woke me up to knowing that I was choosing. I was choosing these moments. I was choosing the life that I was having. Yes, choice is a big thing. That is one of our principal powers. That was one of those things that we innately have. It's just like we innately have the ability to be happy. We are natural manifestors. We are naturally people who have the capacity of joy and elation and ease. And then we do things and we remind ourselves and we allow evidence to contradict who we are. The shift happened for me when And it's still happening. That's the thing. It's still happening. The shift is still happening. That that move, that journey, I'm still on it, and it's beautiful and it's glorious. It happened when that disruption within myself, when I started to question if I can be miserable day in and day out, why can't I be happy day in and day out? Why can't I have joy? If it's in me, if I'm longing for it, if I'm reaching for it, it has to be somewhere within who I am for me to even think about this. So for me, the one thing I know I'm here to do is to remind others that you have everything that you need. It's nothing that you need to do. There's nothing you need to get. There's nothing you need to become to be who you are, who you've always been. To feel good in that moment, to feel good and have joy, to remind you that you are your own possibilities. My thing is, I'm a disruptor and I'm a beautiful reminder. I want you to always know that there is a choice. There's something for you, because it wouldn't be in your vibration to reach for it if it wasn't. The ease that comes with that, the ease that comes with knowing that this is who you are, and you can step up to that. You can allow that, and you can create a place of a deeper, fuller capacity to receive even more of who you are in every moment of every day. I love it because all the things that said that I couldn't, I began to stop focusing on that and begin to focus and be reminded every day, allow myself to notice how Source reminds me in every moment, every day, that this is really who you are. So now with 2 kids, 2 children, and many, 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 many days feeling good and attracting people around me that encourages that evidence, that allows me to keep looking towards that, I'm going to say, hey, this is my life and I'm going to keep it on this journey. And that's why I want to be, and I am, that person to remind you of that same thing. This is your journey. You can shift at any point. You can allow at any point. You can begin to receive at any point. Your perspective. Once your perspective shifts, it allows you to open up the capacity to receive everything that you are. To open up your awareness to your full consciousness of who you are. Your whole self. To live from that place. Anyway, it was just a deep question. They asked, I'm responding, So, if you know anybody who just wants to keep being encouraged, or somebody that knows that it's something inside of them that's telling them these things, and they want to open up that door to that intuition to get to that place where they have that inspiration to take the moves to allow the shift to happen in their life, get at me. If you know somebody that would like me to speak on their panel or at their event, get at me, because I'm ready, y'all. I'm ready for real. So, thanks again for listening. And every once in a while I'm going to jump on here. I want you to know that some things are coming in the works, and I want you guys to be a part of my journey, because you already are. All right? Blessings.
Hey, if you or somebody you know are ready to deep dive on what we talked about today, hit me up so we can connect and get you started with the one-to-one coaching program. I would love to work with you. And remember, this is the Finally Be podcast.